ashes are going to deter pests, but they're also going to give potassium and calcium so that your flowers can come along. And then in the flower stage for growth of the fruit, you need that potassium and the calcium. Pot of ashes, potassium. And so we apply this pretty much, this is our ounce. I should dig in here with this, but you don't want to get liquid or of any kind in here. We're super blessed in this department. Our stepfather is pretty obsessed with burning wood anytime it gets below 60 degrees. And he has an indoor fireplace, so he doesn't have to necessarily cover to kind of refrain from the morning dew. When you wet wood ashes after you burn, whatever spot they're in, the nutrients is going right there. It's going to neutralize and give nutrients to that area, wherever it is. Our stepfather gives us a lot. This was full, so we've been using it on all of our areas. This stuff is calcium acetate, and we make this from charred eggshells. And then after we char the eggshells to get the film off that creates kind of mold or decay, you want to get that wet film off, dry them out completely, get them charred. Then you put them in vinegar, white vinegar, apple cider vinegar, whatever the case. We put ours in white vinegar and it turns this color, which is like an apple cider vinegar color. It's amazing what happens. So calcium acetate gives calcium. The lactic acid process is just readily available. You want that in your fruiting process. Next, we have the compost tea. This would be second on my list if I had nothing else. This has high sulfur as well. And we just put all of our scraps into a big 55-gallon blue barrel. We put leaves, manure, our compost scraps, banana peels, all kinds of peels, bones, everything. Old rabbit. I put full birds in there, not even cut up. This is not quite brown compared to the other stuff. This is more of a green. And if you smell it in there, it has a nitrogen and sulfur smell. So we apply this 1 ounce per gallon, just like the rest of everything else, and it gives it balance. Next up, we have our urea. Urea is urine, my waste. So in hindsight, if you just want to keep a healthy garden and you want to see how your body's doing inside, this is a great way to tell, because if everything is just not really moving and you're not getting any production at all, any harvest at all, you need to look at yourself. The reason it is this color is because to make the lactic acid process happen the way it needs to fast, to make your liquid fertilizer readily available to your soil and thus the plants, you have to put a leaf mold or a compost or a manure in the mix of your, say, 5-gallon bucket with your urine, your compost and manure. You can use old leaves, and then that's really it. You just keep peeing until that stuff rises to the top, and then keep stirring it in. You let it sit out in the sun, in the heat. You want it to brew. It has to brew. That's the whole point. It's cooking, taking it through the lactic acid process. So that's why it's a brown. We keep the pest away with this. This is high in nitrogen as well. You also have a good amount of calcium and potassium in your pee. That's just for fish fertilizer. And this is going to give you like high nitrogen. A lot of high nitrogen, but also there's bones in the fish that we steep and that we brew. So that's going to give you your calcium, your potassium, your collagen, things like that. And there's a bit of sulfur in here too, naturally, just from waste. But if I had nothing else, this would be the one that I would have. We are putting our liquid fertilizers and a granular fertilizer that is just simple wood ashes, 1 ounce a gallon into our watering cans. I'd say this is the only way to do it because everything's so localized. We're not getting our wood ashes from Georgia, or we're not getting them from another state. We fish really close by. My urea is from my body. The compost tea is all of our scraps that we've eaten. Even our eggshells, we get them from a farm really close by. Regeneration Farms in Lithia. We love those people. I don't even know what else to say, man. Make it local. Make it as local as possible. Localization is the process that helps the lactic acid to be readily available for the soil.